Obama announced last week that he is in favor of marriage equality, which isn't exactly shocking considering that he was one of the first politicians to be in favor of marriage equality way back in 1996. But then in 2008 he backtracked only to unbacktrack and then announced his support once again, which poses two questions from an election year standpoint. Number one, will this hurt or help Obama's re-election chances? Overall, I think this hurts his chances more than helps them. However, I don't think it's so overwhelming that it sinks his election, but it will certainly re-energize the right wing. The evangelicals who were iffy about voting for the human Excel spreadsheet that is Mitt Romney, the Mormon human Excel spreadsheet at that, now fill up their church buses and caravan to the polls. Of course, this is clearly re-energizing for the left wing as well, but don't fool yourselves. The right outnumber the left by a factor of at least 2 to 1 in this country. And truth be told, the voters in the middle really won't care either way. Which poses question number 2. Should Obama have done this? Yes, absolutely. And I'm not going to approach this from the moral, ethical, justice side of the argument either. The moral, ethical argument for gay marriage is so overwhelming and the argument against it is so non-existent that there's no point in me rehashing that here. And that brings us to the 2 reasons why it's definitely the right thing. And that is number 1, political, and number 2, historical. The political side of this. Statements bring back that sort of magical glow, that let's make history attitude that was so fundamental to Obama's election in 2008. If you're an Obama supporter in 2008, you remember the feeling really well. Some of his major speeches contained a grandeur quality to them. They were inspirational. It was as if your very heart was being tugged on. When Obama's victory was announced, my brother was in Atlanta and he was riding the subway at night. The Atlanta subway at that time of night is about 85 to 90% black, and he knew that Obama had cinched the victory because he could hear the cheering from the upcoming station. People were dancing inside the train while it was still in motion in celebration. He told me how he danced inside the train with complete and total strangers, embracing them, tears streaming down all of their faces. It was, in a way, in that moment, like something impossible had become a reality. Like watching the Berlin Wall come down, or maybe even the moon landing. It is that magic that Obama recaptures with this act. Secondly, and most importantly, is the perspective of history. Obama once said that he would much rather be a good one-term president than a mediocre two-termer. One thing that presidents care about even more than being re-elected is their legacy. That is how history and historians and future generations will view them. This is where Obama's move seems very wise. The gay marriage issue is even more of an age issue than it is a left or right issue. The overwhelming majority of young people are for it, while the overwhelming majority of middle-aged and older people oppose it. In many ways, gay marriage's main opponent is inertia. Old people are against the idea because it was literally unthinkable throughout their lives, and society did not collapse, so why change things now? You see, in order to embrace gay marriage, you have to think about it. People's original knee-jerk reaction to gay marriage is to be against it, and not because they necessarily see gays as immoral, but because they can't see a man and a man conceiving a child, and therefore they think that they can't see a man and a man getting married, that it's just something that's not possible. Unless, of course, you actually sit down for more than a minute and think about it. When you actually sit down and think about it, you realize that you can't think of one logical reasons why homosexual couples should not be able to get married. In a democracy, ideally, you are allowed to do whatever you want as long as it doesn't hurt a third party or infringe on the rights of another person. In other words, the default state of a democracy is the law allows it. The burden of proof lies on those who want to make something illegal. They must prove that the thing that they wish to make illegal provides concrete, identifiable harm. This burden of proof cannot be met by those wishing to make gay marriage illegal, and thus, believers in democracy should side with allowing it. The thing is, you have to think about it. Younger people, due to cultural and societal changes, have thought about it, and thus overwhelmingly support gay marriage. Which means that in 50 years, anti-gay marriage laws will look every bit as ridiculous as anti-interracial marriage laws look today. And Barack Obama will look very good indeed.